What if I told you the reason your shoulder still hurts isn't your age, it's the way you're moving or not moving every single day? What if just a few simple exercises, done correctly, could bring back strength, freedom, and confidence in your arms again? Imagine waking up without stiffness, lifting things without fear, and living your life without that constant, nagging shoulder pain. This is not a dream. This is something you can start today. Let's be honest. After 60, many people believe pain is just part of life. They stop reaching, stop stretching, and slowly stop living fully. But here's the truth. Your body is designed to heal, adapt, and grow stronger at any age. The difference between pain and power is not time, it's action. And today, I'm going to show you the only shoulder exercises you truly need to move freely again. What if the very thing you've been avoiding is actually the key to healing your shoulder? It sounds surprising, but the truth is simple. Your body responds to movement, not stillness. When you stop moving your shoulder because of discomfort, stiffness quietly increases, muscles weaken, and the joint begins to lose its natural rhythm. But the moment you introduce gentle, controlled movement, everything begins to change. Blood flow improves, oxygen reaches the tissues, and your shoulder starts receiving the signals it needs to repair and strengthen itself. Think about this for a second. Your shoulder is designed to move in multiple directions every single day. When that movement is taken away, even for a short time, the joint begins to feel tight, restricted, and painful. This is not because your body is failing you, but because it is waiting for you to activate again. Movement acts like a natural lubricant, allowing your joints to glide smoothly instead of feeling stuck. Every small rotation, every controlled lift, sends a powerful message to your body. I am still active. I am still capable. Here's where most people get it wrong. They believe rest is the solution, but too much rest can actually make the problem worse. The goal is not to push through sharp pain or force heavy exercises, but to reintroduce movement in a safe, steady, and intentional way. Even the simplest actions like slow shoulder rolls or gentle arm raises can begin to unlock stiffness and reduce discomfort over time. It doesn't require perfection, and it certainly doesn't require intensity. What it requires is consistency and trust in the process. Picture yourself waking up and being able to move your arms without hesitation. That freedom doesn't come from avoiding movement. It comes from embracing it, step by step. At first, the motion might feel limited, maybe even uncomfortable, but that's part of the rebuilding phase. Your body is adapting, relearning, and gradually restoring its strength. With each repetition, you're not just exercising. You're reprogramming your muscles and joints to function the way they were meant to. There's also a deeper benefit that often goes unnoticed. Movement doesn't just heal the body, it rebuilds confidence. When you begin to move without fear, your mindset shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone limited by pain and start seeing yourself as someone capable of improvement. That shift is powerful because it keeps you motivated to continue. So instead of waiting for the pain to disappear on its own, take control through gentle action. Start small, stay patient, and allow your body to respond. Because the more you move with purpose and care, the more your shoulder will reward you with strength, flexibility, and lasting relief. Your muscles and joints thrive on repetition. They adapt gradually, becoming stronger and more flexible through consistent signals over time. When you perform simple shoulder exercises daily, even for just a few minutes, you are training your body to rebuild stability and restore natural movement patterns. It's not about exhausting your muscles. It's about educating them. Each repetition is like a message telling your body, this movement is safe, this movement matters. And over time, your body begins to respond with improved strength and reduced pain. Consider this. Doing a short routine every single day is far more effective than doing a long, intense session once or twice a week. Why? Because consistency keeps your shoulder engaged, prevents stiffness from returning, and maintains a steady flow of circulation to the joint. It becomes part of your daily rhythm, just like walking or breathing. And when something becomes a habit, it no longer feels like effort. It becomes part of who you are. There's also a protective element to consistency. When exercises are done regularly and at a moderate level, they reduce the risk of strain or injury. Sudden, Intense workouts can shock the muscles and joints, especially if they're already sensitive or weakened. On the other hand, controlled, repeated movement builds resilience safely. It allows your shoulder to strengthen without being overwhelmed, creating a stable foundation that supports long-term health. You might not notice dramatic changes in a single day, and that's where many people lose motivation. But real progress happens quietly beneath the surface. Day by day, your range of motion improves. Tasks that once felt difficult begin to feel easier. That slight discomfort starts to fade. These small wins add up, creating meaningful and lasting change. There's also a psychological advantage to this approach. When you commit to something simple and achievable, you're more likely to stick with it. You build momentum. You develop discipline without pressure. And with every day you follow through, your confidence grows, not just in your body, but in your ability to take control of your health. Consistency removes the fear of failure because the goal is not perfection, it's participation. Even on days when your energy is low, doing a few gentle movements keeps the habit alive. It keeps your body engaged and your progress moving forward. Over time, the steady effort becomes powerful, reshaping not only your shoulder health, but your overall sense of strength and independence. So rather than chasing intensity, focus on showing up every day with intention. Trust that small, repeated actions carry more power than occasional extremes. Because when you stay consistent, you create a pathway for your body to heal, strengthen, and move freely again. Flex biceps. Think about it this way. If today you can lift your arm just a few inches higher than yesterday, that is progress. If the movement feels slightly smoother than last week, that is progress. These small wins may not look impressive in the moment, but over time, they create a significant transformation. Your shoulder doesn't change overnight. It evolves through repeated, incremental gains. There is also a deeper reason why chasing perfection can slow you down. When you focus too much on doing everything perfectly, you create tension in both your body and mind. You may overthink each movement, become overly cautious, or even avoid exercising altogether out of fear of doing it wrong. This hesitation limits your natural flow and prevents your muscles from engaging properly. On the other hand, when you allow yourself to move freely within a safe range, your body relaxes and performs more effectively. It's important to understand that healing and strengthening are not linear processes. Some days will feel better than others. There may be moments when progress seems slow or even temporarily stalled. But that doesn't mean you're going backward. Your body is constantly adjusting, rebuilding, and learning. The key is to stay committed, even when results aren't immediately visible. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, you also build resilience. You become more patient with yourself. You learn to appreciate the journey instead of rushing toward an end result. This mindset not only supports your physical improvement, but also strengthens your mental approach to challenges. You begin to trust that consistent effort will always lead to growth. Another powerful benefit of this approach is sustainability. When your goal is simply to improve a little each day, the process becomes more enjoyable and less overwhelming. You're not chasing an unrealistic standard. You're honoring your body's pace. This makes it easier to stay consistent, which ultimately leads to better outcomes. Your shoulder doesn't need perfect movement. It needs regular, intentional movement. It needs you to show up, do what you can, and gradually expand your limits. Because over time, those small, imperfect actions come together to create strength, flexibility, and freedom that once felt out of reach. There's a powerful truth that many overlook. Aging may slow certain processes, but it does not stop your ability to improve. Your body is constantly renewing itself. Muscles can rebuild, connective tissues can become more flexible, and coordination can improve with consistent effort. When you engage in regular, controlled movement, you activate these natural processes. You are not trying to turn back time. You are maximizing the strength and mobility available to you right now. It's important to understand that the idea of limitation often comes from comparison. You may think about how you moved years ago and feel discouraged by the difference. But progress is not about returning to the past. It's about improving your present. Even small increases in strength or range of motion can have a profound impact on your daily life. Being able to reach overhead, carry items comfortably, or move without hesitation restores independence and confidence. There is also a psychological barrier that develops with age, the fear of injury. This fear can lead to avoidance, and avoidance leads to further weakness. It becomes a cycle that reinforces itself. However, when you begin to move safely and intentionally, that fear starts to fade. Each successful movement builds trust in your body again. You begin to realize that you are capable, that your body is not fragile, and that strength is still within your reach. Another key factor is mindset. When you shift from thinking, I can't to, I can improve, everything changes. Your approach becomes proactive rather than passive. You stop waiting for pain to go away and start taking steps to reduce it. This shift alone can create a powerful momentum, encouraging you to stay consistent and engage in your routine. Your body is always listening to what you do. If you remain inactive, it adapts to that inactivity by becoming weaker and less flexible. But when you introduce movement, even in small amounts, it begins to respond by rebuilding strength and improving function. This response does not depend on your age. It depends on your willingness to act. There are countless examples of individuals who have regained mobility and reduced pain well into their later years, not because they had special abilities, but because they chose to take consistent action. They refused to accept limitation as their final outcome. Instead, they worked with their bodies, respected their pace, and gradually improved their quality of life. You have that same potential within you. Your age does not define your capability. Your actions do. Every movement you perform is a statement that you are still growing, still adapting, and still capable of becoming stronger than you were yesterday. So, starting today, make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, move your shoulders, care for your body, take back control of your health. Because age is just a number, but strength is a choice. And when you choose movement, you choose freedom. When you choose consistency, you choose a pain-free life. Remember this, your shoulders don't need complicated solutions. They need your attention, your effort, and your belief. Now stand up, roll those shoulders, and take the first step toward a stronger, pain-free you.